Rest in peace to the Snyderverse.
Rest in peace.
I mean, it's been a interesting last couple of weeks for the just DC news all in general, all together, right? Since we last recorded. Last week, the news came out that they weren't going to go forward with the Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman 3 movie. And first thing I had heard that it was going to be a sequel to so it was actually a sequel to the 1980 Woman to Woman 84, which is a problem, but that's a whole nother conversation. Just the concept should probably not have you even make the movie, but the fact that they were making a third Wonder Woman movie that wasn't the trilogy, it was a sequel to the 84 movie. So they told Patty, like, this how the rumor went. They told Patty that you got to change the story. Patty walked. But then Patty came out, said the other day that she didn't really walk. She would have changed the story, but they just told her, like, look, it's, hey, this not going to work. We doing something else. Yeah. Regardless of whatever who said and then that fact is that was that kind of first domino. But then we start hearing the rumors about Henry Cavill. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they told us, like, they were like, hey, or not even a couple of weeks ago when the Black Adam movie dropped, it was like, Black Adam, we brought back, Henry Cavill's back, Superman is back. And then they told him it was okay to even post. So he even came out himself like, yo, I'm back. It's an honor to be back. I'm happy to be back. I'm here. Just that and the third. Wow. Fast forward to a couple of days ago, or even what's today? It was like yesterday. No, it wasn't even a couple of days. It was yesterday, right?
Right.
They come out with the news about the show the video or show the clip, or not the clip, but the article where they said, yeah, Cavill out. James Gunn said it. Cavill confirmed it on his social media. So now what we thought was going to happen, not happening. Cavill's not a Superman. First of all, before we get into that, what you got any initial kind of thoughts on
that? My initial thought was, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We sort of saw this coming. Well, we broke it down in previous videos.
Yeah, we talked about this like over the summertime, probably, or whatever that was, when the Zaslav kind of like took over and he had a 10-year plan.
Yeah, and the first part, honestly, the biggest part that kind of shocked me was Cavill himself posting on his social media, his Instagram, I believe it was, like fresh out of the meeting. Like, hey, just got out of the meeting. And it's like seeing that long post, him confirming it the way he did, that was probably the only part that really like kind of shocked me a little bit. It was like, damn, like Cavill made it clear, like, we're not going forward. I'm hanging up the cape. But again, and we're gonna get into it. But yeah, I walked away just from that news, just thinking like, hey man, this had to be this was the only way.
It was deep. Who said that? I wish I had the gif of Strange, where he was like, it was the only way. Then he dusted off.
The only way, man.
It was the only way.
This was the only way.
You could tell by Cavill's post, it touched him.
It touched him, bro.
You could tell it touched him.
Cavill's a passionate dude, man. He cares about the projects. Like, he hasn't really done anything that he didn't care about. And this dude grew a mustache from Mission Impossible, wouldn't cut the mustache off.
Yeah.
Wouldn't wear a fake one. Ended up messing up his, the Joss Whedon version of Justice League. He was real deep into Witcher. It's a passionate dude, man, and this touched him, man. You could tell that he really wanted to be Superman again.
Yeah, he even was like, he was talking to, he even had his little blurbs like, talking about the responsibility of wearing that and like what it means, like, and honestly, as it should, right? It's suit, right? Even the, whatever, but even what it was always represented, like, it's a big deal to be Superman. Superman is a big deal and should be a big deal.
It is, man. It's an icon, man. It's a part of our American mythology, right?
Yeah, he one of those ones.
Our mythos, you know what I mean? Here, everybody grew up on Superman. He been around so long. It's like everybody he universally recognizable. So
yeah, most people not going through like 3 superheroes, right? If they just say name 3, just name 3. Forget it. Superman, one of the 3
Superman gonna be one of them.
They're gonna be the most of the ones. Gonna be probably Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. You probably just without ever watching anything, you know that. You know that.
And Christopher Reeves deserves credit for that too. Richard Donner's version of Superman is like big, you know. Even though that's not my favorite Superman, but that with the comic books and all the iterations that he's had over the years, all the different adaptations, the animated version of Superman, that bro,
underrated,
very very underrated. Yeah, very
underrated. Batman get a lot of love from that time period, and as he should.
Superman deserves some too, bro. Yeah,
but that Superman run was good too. Along with those, even the Justice League, they get a lot of love, but like that Superman run that they had was fire.
Yeah, and he's had Lois and Clark. He Smallville. I mean, he done had he been around, man. There's different versions of Superman. Most of them have seen success.
Yes,
that's a very popular character, obviously, man. So to now, now we on our like in terms of the big screen, man. We on our like what?
Yeah, man. So like you say, been on our 3rd Superman, but what this kind of signals or whatever was the correct word. But what it is really it's really the end of the Snyderverse. Like we can get into the secondary, I won't call them secondary characters, but like, you got the Holy Trinity, right? You say the big 3, we all know we talking about Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, right? When it comes to DC, right? If you say Holy Trinity, I guess everyone in this kind of community know you're talking about those 3, no matter what Marvel, whatever. Talking about those 3, but with them not doing the Wonder Woman, the Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman movie, right? Them saying Cavill not coming back, right? They already never did for real a movie with Ben Affleck Spider, a
solo movie.
The biggest character they got. They never actually did a solo movie with their number 1 character.
They don't have their own Batman movie.
They don't have their Snyder. So really, like, but kind of we joked about it with the intro, but like realistically, like it's the end of the Snyder. That's it.
That's really what this is about.
We
closing, we sunsetting finally the Snyderverse, and it was always, even with either regime.
Yeah.
The previous regime, even they called it like, hey, that's the Snyder trilogy. When they had Man of Steel, they had BV Superman. And they had Justice League, right? That was like Snyder's Justice League. That was like their trilogy, and that was like their way of saying, "Hey, we're done with the Snyderverse." Now, here's the thing: not only is the Snyderverse over, this whole entire version of the DCEU is over. They were gonna keep some of the characters. They were gonna keep Shazam. They were gonna keep Aquaman, Wonder Woman. They were just gonna sunset Snyder's version of his part of the universe. Now they're saying no. Not only is the Snyderverse going, everything that came with the Snyderverse is going.
Let me ask you a question, because the way you said that, right? Because I know we talked earlier when we were talking about the Snyderverse, but I think something that gave them ammo to even go ahead with this, and let's just keep it a buck. Black Adam flopped. Right? Black Adam flopped, and it probably gave them ammunition to be like, you know what?
Yeah,
it's over, man. Like we don't even have like even the stuff that wasn't Snyder, right? Like mind you, Black Adam was was the DC, and it was like maybe even like piggybacked off of that stuff, and they even had Superman in the post credit. Not saying it was a Snyder thing, but ultimately, like it was still a continuation of what had previously happened, where they made a bunch of mistakes. And then you get to the end and it flopped flat out. Like it flopped.
And I believe it was poor word of mouth.
So it's like they didn't do a good job.
It's not a good movie.
They didn't do a good job with the promotion of the movie. It was an enjoyable movie while you was there. But if we really, but the bar was so low with Black Adam that if we really would want to get like, put the hat on and be like, okay, let's really nitpick this movie. It really wasn't a good movie. No. It was an enjoyable time at the movies, but it's been on HBO Max and I ain't even thought that I need to watch it again. I'm
Is it
gonna
on
watch
HBO
it
Max?
again. It was on HBO Max.
It is.
No, it starts.
Oh.
I think it starts either today.
Okay.
It might have been for a week, or it starts today. But at the end of the day, it ain't like something that's like when they queue up, like, okay, let me see how our test, like, do it slap better at home versus when we was at the movie theater.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it again, but I don't need to watch it again, right?
No.
And it just wasn't that good of a movie. So with all that, so my point is, like, with James and them showing up, it's like, oh man, look, forget all that, like all of it. It ain't like it ain't like we saying we giving up on it ain't like they coming up on the heels of when Batman dropped, the Batman. They sound extra stupid, like, man, we just gonna kill the whole thing, and it's like, yo, Batman just went. Are you crazy? You know that Batman movie you talk about, the Joker? Like, we got that.
That's a good question too. I'll ask that later about that.
Had they? Oh, you but like it coming on the heels of that, and it's like, okay, we put Henry Cavill for whatever everyone, because everyone, like, the people that love Henry Cavill Superman are the loudest. But let's not forget, I love that movie, right? But let's not forget, it didn't do what it was supposed to do. And a lot of people at that time, like, you got the ears now, that time didn't like it. Like, when I watch it, it's like, how you don't? But a lot of people did not like that movie.
Nah, right? It was very divisive.
It wasn't a movie like, yo, I don't need my Superman like this. Like, he's snapping necks in here.
They didn't like that he killed. Yeah, they didn't like that.
Necks. Like, it was just like it was just a whole, it was a thing. So it was like everybody didn't respond to that the way, like, Snyder had a vision, and God bless him. He had a vision of how, and we talked about this, about he sometimes he put the cart in front of the horse. Like, I like Zach, but even with the Superman and the Batman, he went like 100 and what they say 0 to 60. He went way past it. It didn't once he went with he built his movie or built his universe, and then he just went like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with the Lex Luthor and dealing with the steps he got to take. I'm gonna go ahead and death Superman. Like, I'm just went all the way to the end. So there's mistakes, probably. I'm gonna call it mistakes. But there were just like ways, probably, if somebody else was doing it and they had more, they would have done it differently. I say all that to say it wasn't like everybody responded well to not only the universe, but to that Superman. But the people who want to who love Henry, like, yo, that's Superman, bro. Like, no, like, how y'all don't get that? Like, that's Superman. But they kind of, like, with all the stuff they happened and James Hill taking over, like, y'all kind of made it, honestly. And then after Black Adam, y'all kind of made it easy for me.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I'm gonna do Superman.
Yeah.
You want to talk about, like, I'm about to shit on niggas. Because James is doing it.
Yeah. James came in there. Okay. Oh, all right. But yeah, I mean, you're right, man. I think he took that to Dave. He looked at Dave and was like, hey, man, you see what happened with Black Adam?
Yeah. Y'all had him in the Black Adam. And we gave away the end credit just to try to get more people into the theaters to see the situation. It didn't do nothing. It didn't move the needle.
Man, that's a good point, man. You're right, bro. You're right. He made it easy for him. And it's always like, it always starts and ends with Superman, right? With these little campaigns or these little followings they got, right? Like, what I mean is the Snyderverse been hanging on by a thread for a while now, like really since BV Superman, Batman versus Superman. Just remember, look how long it took for Zack Snyder's version of Justice League to come out, and look how it eventually came out. It didn't get a worldwide release. It's not even a full screen movie. Yeah. It's always like this little niche crowd that's, sort of pushing for these movies to come out. And it's always like people looking for Superman. They were looking for Superman in the black suit. Even with the Justice League version, they were looking for Superman to come back from the dead. It's always about, like, Henry Cavill's Superman. Man, what is he doing? Where is he at? When is he coming back? When are we gonna see him? And it's always like his version of Superman is always at the forefront of what makes and breaks these movies, man. Like, what's the first thing that people noticed about Justice League? It was the creepy looking mustache face that he had, the CG'd out mustache. It was like, man, that looked terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, the first when they did the reshoots, they brought
Yeah.
back Henry Cavill like to do all these reshoots, and it's wild, man. It's like, yeah, man. Then this was the last straw, bro. It was like, all right, let's put him in Black Adam again, and it just goes to show you that you were right, man. That Man of Steel was never like a universal, huge, mega hit.
It was not.
It wasn't like Tony Stark was with Robert Downey Jr. was with Tony Stark and Iron Man. It wasn't like, oh, that's the best character we love. You know, it wasn't like everybody loved that version of Superman in that movie. It was always like a smaller niche type group, who was behind it. And now we see money talks. Bullshit runs the parade. So
yeah,
it's cool, man. Hey, man, y'all rah, y'all wave the flag. Hey, I'm with y'all to a certain extent. I like Cavill a lot.
Yeah,
I like Cavill a lot. I like the Justice League. I like most of what Snyder did, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but it's not a big enough. It never was a big enough group to justify continuing this universe. And you're right, James Gunn knew that and was like, all right, that's on full display. If it's really all these fans that love Henry Cavill, he gonna be in the Black Adam movie. We didn't know to what extent. We just knew he was gonna be in there eventually. Then it was like, post credit. But where was the following it? You know what I mean? Like, where was it just didn't translate into dollars, and it didn't really translate into like streamers, even with the Justice League, with Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah,
it's not materializing into like revenue, right? It's not. It just doesn't. It's not justifying its existence enough. So that's why now it's like, yeah, James Gunn is like, hey man, it's time for us to just
I got to do
move forward. We got to move forward with my vision. And Saffron, I'm pretty sure he was on board with it too. He probably was more so like, man, we can go ahead and flush it right now. and James probably was like, I mean, you'll see what happened with this movie.
Yeah.
If Black Adam come out and make 1.5 billion, we probably having a different discussion right now. We probably talking about how they're gonna split the universes, and James will probably do like, you know what I mean? I think they would have came with another plan, because it's like you can't just ignore $1 billion. Or even like 800 million. You know what I mean?
And then like 800 million and then add on some like acclaim with that, right? Like you get the money and you get the acclaim.
Yeah.
Like you got really like, shout out to it. I don't want to turn it, because we did a review of the movie. I didn't walk out bored, but that was kind of our glowingly thing we can put on. Hey, I wasn't bored when I watched it, right? So then not only did it not make the money, it didn't do what it was. You got The Rock, you got Dwayne Johnson, you got a Black Adam, and this, that, and the third, and it didn't do what. I just think when James Gunn sits down and like James, and like you say, Peter Safran, because like we don't know, it might be more him. Like, look, man, I've been here. I did have the one movie that made some money, right? Like, because he did Aquaman, right?
Yeah,
like that's me,
and he did Shazam too.
Yeah. I did that. I got busy with that, but yo, man, start this over, man. Like we wasting. Yeah. Well, my line I always say when I be at work and they be talking that noise, like, hey, we wasting our time. Like that don't matter no more. Let's go forward. And he could have been the one, and probably had to tell Jane. He was like, I think I can go ahead and I can go ahead. Like, man. We just put Henry in here.
We keep doing this.
Put Henry in here. I know the loudest people are the people making the noise. That ain't the voice of everyone. We put a Man of Steel out, right? And we talking about in the time when superhero movies was making money. This Superman, this is like the number. I mean, he ain't the number one, but #1 superhero. Like, if
Oh,
people
he
say
is
a
the number
name,
one
yeah.
superhero.
So it's like,
Well, he like, right there with Batman. Yeah, he like, if
yeah.
not number one, number
Especially
two.
DC, I
Yeah.
think, and then I think Spider-Man is
Spider-Man like
between
a
them
number,
three.
three.
Between them
Yeah.
three. I think Spider-Man do the most when you put everything together.
Oh, yeah.
I think Spider-Man is the #1, but it's like Spider-Man,
games,
Superman.
cartoons,
Yeah.
movies,
All of it.
everything.
Spider-Man, Superman, it's them. That's the three. And it's like, it didn't, hell, Winter Soldier kicked his ass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Winter Soldier kicked his ass. They came out with the big BB versus Superman, movie. Captain America kicked his ass again. Right? Kicked his ass again. So it's like, hey man, what y'all not receptive to it.
Nah.
And y'all telling us so much about it every time it dropped. Like, again, the people that love Henry Cavill, me being one, be like, hey man, like it seems so easy for us. It seems so easy for me that you be like, you get it right, but they haven't. And it's over. And it's somebody else's story. Like, honestly, if I was coming in, if I was a person, if I took over the job, I'd do the same thing. Like, hey man, man, I'm not following Zach. Let Zach go do his thing, man. Like, Zach, God bless you. You had Zach made his own kind of like fan trilogy, what he would do, right? And that was it. And then it's gonna have its own legacy.
It's time,
but I can't do that because it's not working.
It's too much baggage, man. Too much.
we gotta clean the slate.
Yeah, I get it. I'll be the same way. I'm with you. I'll be like,
I'll be doing the same thing.
That was cool. Dark Side was coming in, and y'all had Apocalypse, and y'all had, and I get it, man. But if the more you play with that, the more you continue to allow this to survive, the more, like you said, that loud fan base, which I'm really a part of, to be honest.
Me too.
I'm there. Too. The more you keep doing that, the more that we keep these loose thread, this whole mess of continuity that we got. It's a big mess with this Snyderverse. It's a beautiful mess. You know what I mean? But the more you play with it, the more you continue to try to keep to fill in the fractures and put it together,
it's over.
The shit is just anti-revenue. Like it's like, what's the word? It's just not. It's not conducive to making money, and that's just not. You can't continue to do this. You can't continue to pump hundreds of millions of dollars into this Snyderverse. You cannot do it,
and you can't move forward.
You can't move forward
with
it.
Never move forward because there was a story that he was telling, or there was a way. There was even it was even like a tone that he had, right, of different things, and it's over. Like it's over. I'm taking charge because Zack Snyder's no longer here.
He's not coming back.
He's not coming back. It was hell, even when they did the damn shit on HBO Max, like for whatever have you want to believe the numbers, whether it's HBO to Warner Brothers telling you this or this, but like that didn't even do it. I liked it. That was a great day when that shit dropped. It took me 2 days to finish it. It was a great day. It was a great day. I got the I went and got the disc. Like I have the thing.
I need to go get that actually. Yeah,
I got the disc. I ain't never opened. It's still in the thing.
I need to get the 4K version. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that joint. I got the HDR 4K situation. I'm good. I loved it, but it wasn't for everybody, right? It wasn't for everybody. Just like all that stuff. It was for
all that stuff is.
That was for he made a universe for a specific group. It spoke to me, right? But it don't speak to, if I'm on a date, like, hey, look, this is probably like a live or Bruce Wayne. See you, and they like, what a joke! Like I ain't like, what are we doing?
That's a good point. You lost the casuals.
You lost a lot of those people that were involved,
and you lost really a lot of the hardcores because they like, hey man, Batman don't kill people.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah. It's a big
Superman don't kill people. He made both of the two guys,
Superman,
the two main heroes that don't kill people. And Superman would be Superman would be more likely to kill somebody than Batman. But still, your first movie, he snapped Zod's neck, which he never would have did.
No,
he never would have did that, man. He would have threw Zod into like the Phantom Zone or whatever. Like he would have found a way, man. That's the point of Superman. He don't even want to hurt people. He want to like beat the, you know what I mean? Pause, but he want to like beat the goodness out of you. You know what I mean? Like beat you into being a better person or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So You did that, and then you come back, everything dark and gloomy. And you so it's like, well, Batman, I was like, all right, I mean, that make a little bit more sense with him, man. But you make him an executioner.
Basically.
He got more bodies than anybody. He got more bodies than the Joker. It's like, damn, you know what I mean? It's just, it was one thing after another, man, and it all looked great. But yeah, it was very weird on how he would lose both crowds, man. Casuals couldn't really follow it because the continuity was all wacky. And then the hardcore comic book fans was kind of like lost, like, man, like, wait a minute, what? Like Doomsday? Like,
I always felt like the Zack universe was like, if like it was more of a real world, like, nah, well, this would happen to be if they was really in the real world, right? But like he went all the way over there with it. So that's why I could probably when I watched Man of Steel, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because imagine an alien showing it like at that now. Somebody coming from the sky, like, yeah, I get a previous generation being all excited about a savior, Superman showing up. But imagine if Superman showed up now, right? Like we got somebody, we know it, right? Like we'd be going crazy, right?
Yeah.
You'll have a faction of people. We divisive about masks, let alone somebody coming out from the sky, right? So like, I peeped the vision. Like, that was a nice way to do it. But like everybody did, and I'm not saying I was right to peep the vision. I got it. It made sense to me, and that's how I took it. But a lot of people didn't. So it was like, yeah, you can't. Just because a group is loud doesn't mean that's the group you got to acquiesce to, right? Because it just didn't work. And it was like, if I'm James, and I ain't trying to take shots at nobody, I'm just saying, like, for James, he was like, James and Saffron, like, nah, let's go.
We got to dump the whole thing. Because
bro, what was you gonna do? And I didn't mean to cut you, but what would you like think about it? What was he gonna do? He like, look, Zach came in, he did the origin story of Superman. And then the next week, Superman was getting killed.
Literally within the universe, like a month of
he was I know it was like 2 years or whatever. They showed us, but still,
it felt like it was.
He just became Superman, and then in that little short amount of time, he was already getting killed. Like they hadn't even done the whole thing that made them cool was because they had moms had the same name. Like on his face value, and I like the movie, but on his face value, he was like, that's what he did. Right. So, like, what was James gonna do? We already brought him back from the dead.
We did everything in one movie. We had World's Finest because you had Batman versus Superman. You had them fighting each other and fighting with each other. You had Wonder Woman come in at the end. You had Lex Luthor there. You had Doomsday. He condensed Superman's entire career, like 40 years of his entire existence as a character within one movie. And it's like, damn, man, like he didn't even take the time to build a relationship with Batman.
Meat on the bone.
Superman and Batman are supposed to be best friends, bro. Like you kind of rushed through that. Like I felt like they kind of was close by the time we got the Justice League, but bro, you rushed through it. So yeah, leave some meat on the bone, my guy.
Nothing. So, like, what was James supposed to do? Like, I think, like, if you step back, not to toot my own horn, but like I said it earlier, they honestly made it easy for them. They literally had no other decision. Like, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the Flash movie and then reboot it. So then we got a thing, but we still got this. And it was like, nah, it's over.
Oh, it's over.
Patty made it easy for you. Patty came out with the 84. She made it easy for you not to go forward. She did.
Ain't
right?
No reason to.
Zach made it easy go for it. Like, why we gonna do another sequel to a 1984 movie when we already seen her? So we're gonna keep her in the past. What it's gonna be 90, 95, you know what I'm saying? She listening to Wu-Tang, like, you know what I'm saying? She got the Illmatic album. Like, what are we doing? Like, there's nothing, right?
And with Steven Trevor coming back, right?
Yeah, we was gonna do a thing. Now we gonna have, like, they canceled
the Lazarus Pit or something, I think.
Yeah,
right?
they canceled the Keaton stuff because it was like, okay, so we're gonna have like we just got too much going on with all these different stop. Y'all made it easy for we can't do that. Let's go ahead and do this. And they saying this Flash shit looking like No Way Home, right? So that's a great way to end it. Just like No Way Home was a great way to end that.
Yeah. I hope I don't
end it.
You gotta
they saying that.
So let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Because I'm glad you brought that up, man. And we're gonna transition a little bit here. So, do you think Flash is? Do you think it's just like literally? Is are we? Is that the last these Snyderverse? Not we know that might not be the because it's just on release dates, but are we saying like, okay, whatever the events that happen in that movie, we move forward with all new everything, or is Ezra going like, do he got one foot in the new universe where he gonna be like, hey, new Superman and Batman,
Ezra,
like
is the dunnest
done.
of the dunnest. And when we
Hey man,
want to
Ezra's
see
so
that
done, bro.
you want to talk about
He more
this,
dunner than Cavill, bro.
man. He's so done. You want to talk about this right here? It's over with that tear.
Red shirt on the text. Flash. Barry Allen.
You hit that thing hard.
That chick who was the Iris, the black
West.
Iris that we never,
West
that never got a line.
She was over there getting a glizzy. Almost got hit by a car trying to get a glizzy.
My man had the glizzy for the dog out there. He saved her. It's over, bro.
So over, bro. Probably was going to be the Thanger Supergirl, the Hispanic girl.
With the short
hair Supergirl.
Had the bob.
I would have had a crush on you. You ain't gonna do it.
You ain't gonna make it, man.
It's over.
What's
Michael
one?
Keaton, Batman Beyond. We got any more? Oh,
any version of Batgirl.
The Shazam Wizards. All of it's over, man.
They all gone.
We get into that. Hey, Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
That's Aquaman.
They went and made a super. Let's just keep it a buck. And we have these conversations when we talk about other things, whether it's Star Wars or whether it's even MCU, and then they have to reboot. They made a super adult version, right? It's like a team like the Rams. And Rams won the Super Bowl, so it's probably a bad example. But they traded away everything to get Matt Stafford. And they about to give people like number 1 and number 3 and number 5 picks for the next 3 and 4 and 5 years, right?
Wildness.
Like they didn't have and the Rams had to do so. That's a bad example. But like the Denver Broncos, they gave away a bunch of stuff for Russell Wilson, and now Seattle got the number 2 pick in the draft, and they're gonna have a couple hot picks in the next couple of years, right? Like they were going for now. Then sometimes you got to do that. But as a TV universe, a movie universe, you got to have a plan, right? It's proven. You have to have a plan. The plan stuff works. The other things don't, right? Like whatever you're doing, it has to be a plan. It may not work, but you got to start there, right? Nope, fail to plan to fail, all that, all those inspirational quotes. But like they went with all these old and fair play to them. But like, they weren't gonna get too far, to be quite honest. If it didn't pop, they weren't gonna get too far with like in almost 50 Affleck, 40-year-old Henry Cavill. Like these are all old people. Like even honestly, like let's keep it a buck. And I don't like being this guy, but like if you got kids, like are they really looking at any of those? Like that's the person I'm gonna connect to. Like who's 12 and 10 and a 9 is like, yo, that's my Flash. We don't need to talk about Ray Fisher. Cyborg, like, is that my it's all like
they never
the Batman I'm gonna like?
No, they never was gonna have that. It was so many starts and stops.
No turnover.
Yeah, you're right, B. But go ahead.
So like, they just went with something like, hey, look, we trying to cash in and cash out. And it didn't work. And sometimes you just gotta tip the waiter, you gotta pay the bill, tip the waiter, leave the restaurant.
That's it, man. That's it. It's like,
that's what they're doing. That's what James finally saying. Like, hey man, just
let's start over.
Tip the waiter, man. Stop trying to and just move on, man.
You know how they say shut it down for the season?
Shut him down for the
You know, I
season.
like player.
Yeah.
You got a running back. He keep coming back, man. He get injured. It's the hamstring this week. It's the ankle this week.
Yeah.
Hey, man, shut it down for the season.
We're not making no playoff run this year.
Done.
Just shut it down for the season. We get ready for next year.
Shut it down for the next.
Don't make no sense.
Let's get just finish out these last slate of movies. Shut it down, man, so we can reboot this thing.
So
man.
let me ask you the question, man. So what's the legacy? What's the legacy of this, man? Like it's and I'm gonna preface a couple things and I'm gonna let you go. But like it's tough even trying to quantify that, right? Or even put into words, because the time that it came up in, right? It went against a monster. Even if they wasn't going against the monster, right? Like it wasn't a competitive thing. Fact was, like, what the MCU was doing during this time makes it look really bad.
Yeah.
Because what they was doing, like, we get on the MCU now, and we talking about like 35 movies in and TV shows and all that. But like they was like for real, like 24 for 24. Right? Like they was like 22 or 24. I mean, think about that run that they was on. And they was trying to restart this in that.
The legacy gonna be
What's
Snyder.
The legacy? What's the legacy of the Snyder? Let's just keep it. What's the legacy of the
Zack Snyder, man. Zack Snyder's the double-edged sword that is Zack Snyder's vision, man. Just aesthetically, you're never gonna find superhero movies that look better than these.
Yes,
and that goes for Marvel's entire run.
I agree.
You're never gonna find any like the visual, certain fight scenes, certain scenes. You can't top it. No matter, we can look in any universe. But with that comes, like you were right. They were a candle in the sun. They got caught up in a battle with Marvel when Marvel was like literally in the prime of his. They were in a heyday. I mean, they technically still are, but they called Marvel at a time where we had never seen those characters before. Whereas with DC, we had saw these characters before. We saw different versions and better versions of Batman. We saw in a lot of people's opinion, better versions of Superman. We got a great Wonder Woman. We got the quintessential Wonder Woman. We got a great Aquaman, and we got I think a underrated Barry Allen. To be honest with you, with Flash, but you had a problematic actor behind that. But it's just man. The legacy is just gonna be Zack Snyder's vision and just just the mismanagement of this IP, man. These characters. You know what I mean? Just horrible starts and stops. The sort of it's a story, I think, of the rise, the fall, and then the slow rise again of the Snyderverse, only to be finally snuffed out. You know what I mean? Just the flame just extinguished. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's been like a roller coaster, right? Like he came out with the Man of Steel. Man of Steel, it was off the heels of the Batman trilogy. Came out with that. It was divisive. It was, you know what I mean, one for everybody. And then he followed that up with what almost became not a well-received movie, but also a controversial movie because of the events that happened in it. And then he came out, and then the Justice League came out. He dropped out of that Justice League movie, just kind of like killed the Snyderverse at that time. And then to slowly see this movement of release the Snyder cut, for that to come up, and that to finally them to accomplish that mission, only for that to kind of be like, okay, that happened, and now finally we seeing the end of it. So yeah, that's my call on it, man. It's just the legacy is Snyder's vision. And it's just poor management of these characters, man, and catching Marvel at a time where Marvel just created a juggernaut, man. That was unstoppable.
It was like Kobe and Shaq. It was MJ in the 90s. It was like no matter how good you could have been. So there's the two parts of it. It was like what they say what's that line? The large boat raises all tides or something like that. Like if you're around her, you should be able to. So that's what kind of makes it look bad. Like you could eat off of that. And they catch more flack than probably anybody. Like X-Men were dropping movies around there. Nobody's that sits back and be like, hey, the X-Men universe, they was the, you know what I'm saying? Like when they was dropping the Days of Future Past, they was dropping that at the same time, right? Hell, they was dropping Amazing Spider-Mans and stuff like that when this was coming out, like when MCU was run, like, but no one catches it. But it's just like I look at the legacy. If I were to use the word, I would use pace. And I just like they didn't have the right pace. Right. So like there were some jewels that were in there. So if I looked at the Snyderverse, I was like, the pace just was not like I keep going back to it. He went from an origin story to a Death of Superman in 2 movies, right?
It's a good word.
But then like even to me, like we can debate about the first Wonder Woman about who really did it, but that's a Snyder movie, right? Didn't he write it, or he was heavily involved? Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like he was involved, but at the end of the day,
Ghost directed it,
yeah. But it's like that one was okay. Like maybe that should have step back, maybe put that out a little bit earlier, like kind of keep the run of like what you were building, then ultimately you get to a maybe you drop a Justice League and then you get to a Batman versus Superman because they cool before they not, right? Batman never really trusts Superman and vice versa, but they mad cool. Like they have an understanding with that, right? But it was a pace that was like, and maybe that was the pressure of Marvel. Like, man, we got to come with a hitter, right? We can't really slow walk this when everything that, I mean, how many at that time? Probably, especially when they got to about like Batman v Superman, then it was like, okay, Marvel just doing billions now. We drop a movie, it's $1 billion. We drop Black Panther, like we ain't even we love Black Panther, right? But it's like we making billions off of Captain Marvel, dog. Like we doing this, and the pressure that was like probably there threw their pace off because you got that giant. And you feel like you need to be in competition. I don't know. I just feel like the pace was off because you had perfect. I feel like you had the perfect characters. Like you couldn't even really do my man Cyborg justice. Like maybe he should have got a movie. Like everything led up to the point, but they went all the way in. Like we gonna be Batman v Superman next. We're going there next, right? So it was like maybe that giant made them have to do things they didn't want to do at the time they wanted to do it, right? Then you come back with a Justice League movie where Superman is dead. It just was like, I think their pace was off. That if even in Snyder's own mind, he'd be like, if I look back at it, I had a vision. If maybe if someone talked to me a little bit, we would have what's the line? Stayed the course a little bit. Stayed the course a little bit and just made our movies. We were going to rise. All we had to do was make sure we were going to rise. It's Superman, it's Batman, it's Wonder Woman. We were going to rise. I just felt like that pace might have been a little bit off, and I would say that would be the legacy of it.
That was excellent.
And then he have a crown jewel at the end with the Snyderverse. Release the Snyder cut. That's his championship. He good at it. Like to him, like okay, people.
That's what I'm saying. Mission accomplished,
and they did it.
Yeah, mission accomplished, man. That should have never happened.
Should have never happened.
That's the legacy. That's part of the legacy, bro. That should have never happened, man. For fans to go online and drum up this movement and succeed by getting the studio to finally. Like, first of all, it started off as like a legend, almost like an urban legend, almost like They said they got a whole he filmed a whole movie, and then they took only 15% of his movie is in the Justice League cut. And he's like, it went from that. Then it was look, Snyder literally putting the film out there, like here's the film right here. Here's a picture of it. To all right, yeah, we talking to WB right now, and they saying that they want to do it, and then. Eventually, HBO Max coming out, and it's like, all right, yeah, it's official now. This is when it's coming out. That's a huge right, man. He could take that home, like, man, that's my championship out of this whole thing, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's big for him, man. It's like you gonna remember Zack Snyder, right? Like 20 years from now, man, we're gonna be like, man, remember Snyder's run. Remember Snyder's run with Justice League, man. Remember his Batman. Remember his Superman. Whatever James gonna do, man. He come out with this new Superman. I'm pretty sure. I think it's gonna be great. You know what I mean? He's gonna come out It's gonna be a different type of Superman, music and all that, comedy. Cool. But we all 20 years from now, we still gonna be talking about, hey man, remember Henry Cavill Superman?
Yeah.
Remember Batman? Remember that Batman? That's still my favorite Batman. We're gonna be talking about.
I don't want to be that guy today.
Snyder's.
That guy, the next Superman guy, like, cause the Snyder and the Cavill fans are like so loud.
Man. It's gonna take
the
a while.
The person that they hire to play Superman, I don't want to be that guy today. I agree. It's gonna be a great movie, and he's gonna overcome it.
Right.
But the heat, the bullshit he gonna catch when they first announce who it is. They bring him out at Comic-Con next year. Right when they do Comic-Con, or they do. They're not doing any more DC fandoms, I believe. But they have the next.
That's a Snyder thing, bro.
Yeah, they could. Yeah,
get that out of there. No, they're not doing that shit no more.
They walk him out on Comic-Con in San Diego next year, and he walk out like, here's a new Superman, and then. Yeah, that guy gonna get that guy. You want to talk about acts like that bullshit? He gonna get the bullshit. But James damn near undefeated too, so he gonna be all right. But just that early part because of the loudness of Snyder people and Cavill people, and I'll be lying if I wasn't one of them. You get what I'm saying?
No,
so I'm not saying them. I'm saying us a little bit.
You could have told, bro. Listen, you could have told me. If they had came out and said, "Hey man, we moving forward with the Snyderverse. The next movie gonna have Darkseid in it, and it's gonna be an apocalypse, and it's gonna be about the invasion of okay, all right, yeah. I'd have been with it, even though I'd have been in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, man, do y'all got a plan, man? Like, is there a plan? Like we talked about this, bro. The need for them to like centralize this universe to be like. This Batman does belong here. This Superman belong here. They know each other. This Wonder Woman is here. They need to, and now we're closer to that now, right? Like we're closer to one universe, and it's not as convoluted today as it was, a few days ago, right? Because we looking at it now, like if the Snyderverse is out of there, right? Let's just say it's gone. The only thing that exists right now is like Batman, the Batman, and Joker coming out with his own movie, which is clearly just a spinoff. Okay, get it. But yeah, we're gonna get a new Superman. We're eventually probably gonna get another Aquaman and another Wonder Woman and another Flash, and probably not another Cyborg, but. It's just better this way, man. It's like I get it, man. I'm not. Again, like I said, I would have went along with continuing the DCEU, but I also would have been calling for a plan. Like, man, please, man.
What is it?
What is the plan, bro? Like, why isn't Black Adam and Shazam? It was just too much of that, man. It was just too much mismanagement. And now to just say that, hey, the Snyderverse is done, everything that was connected to it, everything is just done. Like we're going forward with a new reboot. I'm in a happier place, man, with DC right now, bro. I'm just like, cool. I'm fine with it. I'm fine. I like Cavill a lot, man. I like that's my favorite Batman and Affleck. I like even like Aquaman, and I like Wonder Woman, but. If it takes sacrificing these versions, the versions of these characters, this version, for us to get a connected universe for the DC finally, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it didn't do. Hell, we even got a situation where we got a dope. I mean, I'm looking at a picture of it right now. That's what I'm thinking about it. We got Harley Quinn. Like we got shit to do. We would incorporate her in a James Gunn type of thing.
Yeah. Hey, yo, bro, is Harley Quinn gonna make it though?
She on the James umbrella though.
Yeah.
I don't think she get no more movies now.
Nah,
but
she won't go get in any reason.
She could show up in something because it's James, and she one of James's. Now, she might not have been really one of James's, was he? Because she was part of the early regime.
She was birthed in Snyderverse. Yeah.
She a Snyder. because she was in the first Suicide Squad.
Damn, I might be throwing up the slew for her.
Hey, hold on, man.
It's coming up.
Come on, man. Let's do the honors, man. Let's do the honors. Hold on.
Let's do it in proper. Hey, let's give her a proper send off, and I'm gonna tell you why.
All right,
in a minute. Harley, you ain't make no money either.
We ain't make a dime.
You ain't make a goddamn dime.
You ain't made a dime.
And that's under. Hey, James got a. Hey, look, James ain't gonna play with Harley, bruh. James, hey, listen, hey man, I love James Gunn. Suicide Squad ain't make a dime.
Hey man, they still trying to figure out like how much we owe now. You know, you trying to split the bill.
They trying to recoup.
How much is
they trying to recoup? And I don't like that movie. I like that movie, but
Harley got 3 movies, B.
She got 3 movies.
She
and
got
they ain't make
2.
A dime.
She got 2.
And her best one, James Gunn ain't got nothing to do with it. You know,
yeah, she got 2 Suicide Squads on her own.
It don't make any sense for James Gunn to keep Harley Quinn around at this point. Let's go back to again. Without a Batman, she don't have a Bat. Her Batman is Ben Affleck.
Oh, we got another one to do. We ain't even really did the main honor.
Oh man,
I hate to do this one, but we got to do it, man. Hold on. Ben Affleck.
It's been real.
It's been real. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. So you're Batman, and
God, man,
it was tough, bro. That was tough. That might have been the toughest one for me.
That one stung a little bit. Can't even lie.
That's my favorite Batman.
That one stung.
Had my favorite fight scene.
Hey man,
but
that one stung, man. Damn, I got one more to do too after this.
Oh man, hold on, let's get to it, man.
It's a sleeper. It's a sleeper. Right, it ain't really, but it's really.
Oh,
got one more to do. Jared Leto. Thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing. You weird.
Thanks for nothing.
Listen, and I don't even hate Jared Leto's Joker that much, bro. You just never. Nah, you wouldn't. Nah.
And I'm only giving that because he showed up in the Snyderverse cut. Yeah. The Snyder cut at the end,
and that was wacky too, bro. That was just wacky. You know.
We live in a time,
but there's no way you can exist going forward. I'm sorry.
It's curtains.
You wasn't gonna make it no matter what.
It was a lot of people through the Snyderverse that was like hanging on to the end, meaning they were trying to get a redemption, right? Because remember, he had his even problems that he wasn't gonna be the Joker. Then Snyder shot him bail. I think there's one other person we really can go in on. But she might have been rest in peace before. I can't remember her name, but I know her name now, so we're gonna do one more.
I'll do it.
Amanda Heard.
Yeah, you know what?
When you think there's a lot of problems with that whole.
Yeah,
they got it. I mean, they made it easy. Think about the financial stuff and the things like that. Then you got issues.
It's just issue. It's toxic. And I hate that word, but it's terrible. It's nuclear. It's horrible.
You cannot keep going.
It's deplorable conditions. It's terrible. But we got to key in on one. We got to go back and key in on one. And that's the girl in the middle, man. I know we did the whole as a whole, but that's the middle of the Trinity there, man. Can we give her one, bro? Because we got to get to her, and because we got our director out of there. You know what I mean? Gal got it. You and your broken English. You out of there. No shots. Man. I ain't taking shots. I love
Now,
got it. I love
got
Godot.
it, got
I love
man.
what
She
you
was
got.
like
Got.
she was like the
Hey,
first one. She was it. She was the first one.
He made it official with her quickly. Like as soon as they got back to him, he was like, "Yeah, that part. You know, part of it is true." And then the Patty news came out, man, and then you hear about like some stuff was flying out about Patty, but we kind of all knew this was a problem after 1984, man. You know what I mean? We kind of knew this was a problem. Like that whole movie. And again, man, not the, you know what I mean, we did touch on it, but just the fact that they were gonna do a sequel to that, man. And I'm hearing, you know, Trevor was gonna come back, he was gonna be in the Lazarus pit, and, you know, that can be rumors, but I'm just saying, man, it's just it's a lot going on.
You got me, bruh.
It's a lot going on.
They was going to the Lazarus pit with him.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And then you got Patty doing Rogue Squadron, which I just don't care about. You know what I mean? We get into that on the Civ element when we do. But it's just like it was just it's too much, man. It's too much.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's
like
too
so
much.
where Gal situation may not be like you use the word toxic, but Patty situation is.
Oh yeah. It's
right?
radioactive at this point, man.
Like it's nuclear, man. Like you can't bring. Patty was done after her movie. That was it. Once she did 84, she decided to go that route that she went, and they gave her the reins. That there was no way that she could do. And then her idea was to do a sequel to that. And you got to go. You had to go when that was your thought, but like no one said it. James was like, look, man, I'm about to go ahead and bring my own Wonder Woman in. That's not the story I want to tell Wonder Woman. Yeah, like I kept using that term. I think one of our previous recordings, I kept saying fumbling the bag. Is like, how are you messing this up?
Yeah.
Like we didn't even play you and gave you like Supergirl or something. You get what I'm saying? We didn't give you Batgirl. We gave you Wonder Woman.
God.
Like all you gotta do is not mess that up. Again, you could just do a home movie of Wonder Woman.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't even know if she didn't mess it up. I just think Snyder didn't mess it up. That first movie was, and then her.
But like,
yeah, I got you though.
You don't. I'm saying it for Patty. Like, all you gotta do is not mess it up. But and as much as I love Gal, like you do a lot about the English, but it's like they had to make the other actors kind of chase her tone. So like it's taken away from the other people that was in, that was the Amazonians, like they had to talk like her. Right?
Damn.
You run through that thing.
That's a great point. Yeah.
You run through that thing where it's like The Rock. It was like Rock was never gonna change his voice for the actor that he needed to be.
Bro,
you get what I'm saying?
That's a great point. That's
like Margaret Robbie. She Australian. She sounded like she from Brooklyn.
Yeah, you see that?
She understood the assignment.
Yes.
So it's like as much as I look at her, I'm like, oh man, she got it. Anybody know how much I love just Gal altogether. But like
the perfect Wonder Woman. Like
we can go get somebody else to do that.
Yeah, but somebody else can do it. They can be more bulkier. I mean, it's improvements that can be made.
It's that noise.
It's changes that can be made. Like Wonder Woman don't talk like that in the comic books.
No,
Wonder Woman speak clear English.
That's every Wonder Woman I ever known.
She's very compelling. You know what I mean? Yeah. She got a lot of command in her voice. She can do everything Gadot was doing and some. I'm talking about these voice actors that play Wonder Woman.
Fit that.
And again, not to take shots at Gadot, man. She's great. You know what I mean? She did a great job, but very replaceable. I'm sorry. She can be replaced.
The messed up part about that, no one was irreplaceable. Like it ain't like we talking about Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans.
Yeah, all these guys was replaceable.
Everyone that's in that backstop was a person from what we got, right? Again,
from what we got,
because they were only given material. Because they can only work for what they got. Yeah. But at the end of the day, from what we got from the movies that they were in, right? Every one of them were replaceable. It's not like Chadwick. It's woo, that's a tough replace, right? You know, get what I'm saying? Like we went to a movie and saw it. that anybody that would have showed up right there at that moment in November 11th, 2022
wouldn't have done it.
Wouldn't have done it. The next one, cool, but not right there.
Not
Any
that
one of these people, if they swap somebody out in the next movie and even said it was the same universe, we can move on with.
We can move on.
We can move on with. So I think we did a proper justice. So you got another one?
I think we covered it, man. I mean, we know. Like we said, Ray Fisher been done even before.
Oh yeah, he got sniped.
He been done, and Momoa coming back as Lobo, which is a good move.
They been saying Cavill supposed to be come back as a
please
villain
don't.
And all that. He needs
please,
to take
please
his ass
don't.
over to the MCU now.
Yeah, get out of there. Get away from Warner Brothers, man. Get away.
It's over, man. You got the hey man. They did you foul, bro.
Get away from Warner Brothers.
Can't even have a relationship with them.
You can't win with them, bro. You had your shot with them, bro, and then you was Superman. You don't be. Who you gonna be after Superman, bro? Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to see Cavill come back and be no. I don't want to see that. No,
yeah, I will go across the street. I mean, what y'all talking about over here? Hey, Kevin, what you got?
You got Dr. Britton. You got Doom. You got
Hyperion. What do we want to do?
Hyperion. What you want to do?
What we want to do? What we want to do? Let me get one or two of these.
Seen Bell do it, and Bell was a successful Batman. So yeah, he'll be a villain, but he ain't gonna be a damn villain in the DC.
Yeah, that would make
in a universe he already existed in as the highest character. No,
yeah, you can't.
Don't go back to DC. No, you're done with that.
So we think. Do we think as we wrap this up? But do you think we walk out? So we already know what we're not gonna have. We know that, and I'm not gonna start a big conversation like, okay, we can. That's our next time we talk about this. It's like, what do you think we will have? But that's that.
I want to go into that. Yeah.
I want to do that.
I hope we have a follow-up conversation.
Yeah. We want to have that conversation, because we can lead into another 2 hours talking about that.
Yeah.
So I want to do that justice, right?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Appreciate you for tuning in to the Theory Expo. If you enjoy the content we're doing, please like and subscribe. And on that note, let's get to it.